So you've probably seen this stuff everywhere, right? Ashwagandha, it's popping up in teas, in those little gummy vitamins, all over your social media feed. It's being hyped as this ultimate natural chill pill. But is this ancient herb really a modern miracle, or is it just another marketing trend? Let's dig in and find out.
I mean, let's be real for a second. Modern life can feel like you're running a marathon that never ends. We're all juggling work, family, and just this constant fire hose of information. You know that feeling, that sense of being constantly on? Well, that's chronic stress, and it's a huge deal for so many of us.
And right on cue, this ancient herb starts trending everywhere. Ashwagandha. And the promise is so tempting, right? Just take this and all that stress will just melt away. But is it really that simple? Is it a miracle cure, or is the reality a little more nuanced? Today, we're going to break down the science, the risks, and what you actually need to know. To really get what's going on, we first have to take a little trip back in time and then jump straight into the science lab. Okay, so ashwagandha is anything but new. It's actually a cornerstone of Ayurvedic medicine and has been used for over 3,000 years to help the body build resilience. It's part of this really cool class of herbs called adaptogens. The best way to think about them is like a thermostat for your body's stress response. They help you adapt and find your balance. Now, the power behind this plant isn't some kind of magic. It's all about chemistry. Specifically, it's a group of active compounds called withanolides. These are the plant's secret weapon, the little molecules doing all the heavy lifting and giving it those famous stress-busting effects. Okay, now this is where things get really, really interesting. Not all withanolides are the same. See, the plant's leaves are packed with something called withaferin A, which is super potent, but it can also be toxic to your cells in high doses. The roots, on the other hand, have more withanone, which is way milder and is known for protecting the brain. This is a total game changer because it means the part of the plant your supplement is made from, leaf versus root, could have a completely different effect on your body. And most people have no idea.
So, how exactly is this herb supposed to help us chill out? Well, it all comes down to the way it interacts with our body's main stress response system.
So let's talk about how stress actually works in your body. It's basically a chain reaction called the HPA axis. Think of your brain's hypothalamus as a smoke detector. When it senses stress, it sends an alarm signal to your pituitary gland. The pituitary then pages the adrenal glands, these little guys that sit on top of your kidneys, to release the main event, cortisol.
And there it is, cortisol, the famous stress hormone. Now, in short bursts, cortisol is your best friend. It gives you that jolt of energy to slam on the brakes or run from danger. But when that stress alarm is ringing 24/7, that's when your best friend turns into a real problem, leading to things like anxiety, terrible sleep, and a whole bunch of other health issues. And this is exactly where ashwagandha comes into the picture. A bunch of clinical trials suggest that it can help kind of turn down the volume on that HPA axis. The result? As you can see right here, in some studies, people taking ashwagandha saw their cortisol levels drop by about 15 to 30% more than the folks taking a placebo. It's not a night and day difference, but it's a real measurable effect. And you know, it's not just about what the lab reports say. People in these studies simply felt better. They reported having a brighter mood, being able to focus more easily, and this is a big one, getting a better night's sleep. Okay, so there's definitely some promising science here, but like with any powerful substance, there is always another side to the story. We absolutely have to talk about the risks. First, the good news. For most people taking it for a short time, we're talking up to about 3 months. Ashwagandha is usually fine. The most common complaints are pretty mild stuff, really. Maybe an upset stomach, a little bit of digestive trouble, or feeling a bit sleepy. But we really need to draw a line between those common side effects and the more serious issues. There are rare but documented cases of ashwagandha messing with the thyroid, or in a very, very small number of reports, causing liver issues. It's also worth pointing out that some people online report feeling kind of emotionally flat or unmotivated. Now, this isn't something we see in the clinical trials, but it's a real experience for some, and it's important to be aware of. And here is the big flashing warning sign. Ashwagandha isn't just a harmless little herb, it's a biochemically active substance. And that means it can interact with other medications you might be taking. Just jumping on the trend without talking to your doctor could be seriously dangerous. So listen up, because this part is absolutely non-negotiable. If you fall into any of these groups, you really should avoid ashwagandha.
Or at the very least, only use it under strict medical supervision. We're talking about anyone pregnant or breastfeeding, people with thyroid conditions or autoimmune diseases, and anyone on sedatives, immunosuppressants, or certain cancer treatments. Please be careful.
All right, so we've seen the promise, we've seen the peril. Let's put this all together and figure out the real bottom line here.
When we look at the studies where people actually saw a solid benefit for stress, the magic number seems to hover right around 500 to 600 milligrams a day, but of a standardized extract. And that word, extract, is so important. Here's an easy way to think about it. A shot of espresso is way more potent than a cup of watery coffee, right? Well, a standardized extract is like that shot of espresso. It's been concentrated to make sure you're getting a consistent, powerful dose of those active with analytes we talked about. The quality and the form of what you're taking really, really matter. And honestly, if you take away just one thing from all of this, let it be this. Ashwagandha can be a genuinely useful tool for managing mild to moderate stress, but it is not a magic bullet. It is not going to replace the foundations of well-being, things like good sleep, exercise, a decent diet, or talking to a therapist. It's a supplement to a healthy lifestyle, not a substitute for one. So at the end of the day, the decision is yours. Now that you're armed with the real facts, both the good and the not so good, you can make an informed choice for yourself. The goal here isn't to just blindly follow a trend, but to thoughtfully ask yourself, does this ancient tool actually have a place in my modern life?